All right. I'm sorry the last video got cut off. Like I said, I've been having connection issues. Um, it's kind of fucked up. A lot of things fucking trigger me. They bring me right back to those situations. I'm living in a horse trailer, and this doesn't remind me of horses or Alicia or any of that, but the horses do. I mean, the fucked up shit that Alicia did and got away with and has no remorse about. And she's not gonna because she's an addict. Same thing with Ted. Ted has no remorse for the things that he did to them. He's an addict. Danica has no remorse for the things that she did. Or Rochelle Shelley Campbell, because they're addicts. And I'm supposed to understand because they're addicts. Feel sorry for me because I'm an addict. With all due respect, I've been assaulted repeatedly because you are an addict. So no, you don't get that respect. You didn't earn my respect. You got my respect from the start. If I disrespected you, you fucking earned that shit. So, I really want Alicia Bollinger to either tell the truth or go to prison. One or the other. But then again, when I love somebody, I love them. That's just how it is. You look at the men that I type I love you to. Am I trying to get into their pants? No, I'm not. I'm not trying to get into anyone's fucking pants. LL, what's up, bro? Mostly my self esteem, I suppose. Just kidding. My self esteem was torn away from me as a kid. I replaced it with ego. Now, despite the fact that I want Alicia Bollinger in prison or to tell the truth, the fact is, even with me being pissed off at her, train, even with me being pissed off at her over the horrible shit that she's done, when she disappears, I'm worried about her safety. What happened to the baby possum? Well, there was a dead mama this morning just down the street. So I think the possum's an orphan. If it comes in here again, I'm gonna. I don't want to talk about the possum. Um, but I'm going down the street and I see the horses off to the left hand side. I know who owns the horses, and I think to myself, at least she needs that. So a lady sent me a friend request this morning, and she's got horses. She got a hold of me because that Rob Gavigan's video, I'm assuming. Fucking goddamn. This lady's a horse lady. She lives in Pennsylvania. I mean, sure, that's not close to Colorado, and if Alicia's got to do a bunch of shit in Colorado, they're not going to let her go there. But she needs effective therapy. Going to talk to some fucking goddamn therapist while you're all junked out, that's not going to help her. For me, the thing that helped me out at Shannon Alvarado's with all of her bullshit, the only thing that fucking helped me was her dog. Through all that screaming. When I was over at Tom Nelson's, I slept with his dogs. All of his dogs piled on top of me. Over at Aunt B's, same thing. All them dogs piled on top of me. I need a dog and I need to be left alone. People keep telling me, oh, you should just get a dog then. It's not that easy. First of all, you got to have a place where you can have a dog. Second of all, if I'm going to get a dog, I'm getting a real dog. What the fuck is a chihuahua going to do? It's not a dog, it's a rat. That's the thing about having my own place. My own place. I mean, the fucking rules up there at Hilltop, Jesus Christ, it's like being fucking 12 again. You can't do this, you can't do that. You can't have your friends come over for longer than this amount of time. You can't have a dog that weighs more than this. If you have a dog, you need to pay us money. Fuck, I just got my disability money back this month. My very first disability payment that I actually got to use in the last 2 years. I just got it on the first of this month. I mean, all of this shit is expensive. This right here, I got this because living in that low income place makes me want to blow my goddamn head off. A lot of shit makes me want to blow my goddamn head off. You know what doesn't make me want to blow my head off? Being able to see my loved ones without being threatened, harassed, assaulted, or fucking arrested for shit that I didn't fucking do. By the time it got to the point where I was willing to break the law to try to put an end to this, I had tried everything legally. Meanwhile, unborns that if you squeeze them, they poop. Oh, it's more like a hemorrhoid thing that comes out of the backside and comes back in. And then they got these pens that got unicorns on them. I can't look at a unicorn without thinking of Alicia. And when I think of Alicia, I want to blow my head off. I can't see somebody with colored hair without thinking of Alicia. And thinking of Alicia makes me want to blow my head off. I can't hear a story from one of these people telling me about how their dad fucking raped them without thinking about Natalie and Alicia. People are cunts. They totally are. Of course, I'm a bad person if I say cunt, but you can type it. I'm going to tell you two stories here real quick. One was a story that actually happened, and one was a want. When Jamie was pulling all of her head games, pretending she liked me, and all these other dudes were trash, and then pretending to all these other dudes that she liked them, but everybody else was the ones who's trash. I mean, she's just a player, straight up. I've known her since she was 9, and I've known her son since before he was born. I was talking to him in his mama's belly before he. Now, Scotland, their national animal is a unicorn, is it not? Unicorns apparently don't exist anywhere but Scotland. That's just cute. What's YH stand for? Yaha? It's just a guess. But every time I see a horse or someone talks about horses or they work with horses, I think about Alicia. So Jamie, I already knew she wasn't the girl for me. I mean, it was just a fucked up situation. She was gonna help me to understand women. I've never been in the situation, I'm not gonna figure it out. I don't. If I have a girlfriend and it turns out to be a shitty relationship, at least I'll have learned things that I don't fucking know now. I can't tell if a woman's interested in me. A lot of that is because of women being dishonest with me or doing things that were contrary to what they told me. Like, we'll give Amanda Daniels for an example, or Amanda DeMett now. My mom told me, because we all worked at Cabela's corporate offices cleaning together. My mom told me that Amanda Daniels thought I was the best thing since peanut butter. I should ask her out. I did. I asked her out. She told me no. Come to find out later, I was her first crush. So why'd you say no? Jamie has gotten more help than almost anyone I've ever met. Mostly from dudes, mostly from batting her eyes and shaking her boobs. She's pretty, she can get away with it. Wouldn't work for me. But with Jamie, you know, I decided she wasn't the girl for me. She was getting too fucked up on meth all the goddamn time. The bullshit with her and Jackie was getting overwhelming. And the shit that she was pulling on Jace Otska and Hayden McCall, holy fuck, you don't do that to your friends. That's fucked up. Of course, she was also doing the same thing to me, so, you know, what gives? Difference is I wouldn't have sex with her. We planned a trip to Europe. The whole idea was that I was going to go down to Colorado and I was going to work for the money to go on a Europe trip. That's because Jamie, what's the best way to say this without, I can't really use her words because she is very sex oriented. Um, I guess I'll say it the way that she says it. An Irish accent melts her panties right off. That's how she says it. So I planned a trip to Europe. I wanted to go to Europe. I wanted to go to Ireland, specifically with Jamie, so that she could find a good Irishman. Well, that didn't happen. She was too busy playing hit games. Now that brings us to Alicia. You know, I would like to help Alicia get what she wanted. Get to work with horses. She's tiny. Them horses fucking tear her up. But the fact is, the whole time that we were friends, that whole time I was in Virginia, the whole time before that we were friends, they wanted to pretend like I was a stalker. Meanwhile, the evidence proves otherwise, but that only matters if people will look at it. If a woman accuses you of something that you didn't do, you don't have to be guilty to be harmed. You don't have to be guilty for her guy friends to come beat you up. If they call you mentally ill, they can do all that and get away with it just because they called you. Literally, I need help getting a lawyer and an advocate who will actually speak up for me. This lady here isn't going to show up in court. I literally need help getting a lawyer and an honest day in court, or I need someone to kill me. And I do mean that. Whether I deserve better or not, I don't have better. Whether your wishes are great or not, my life is still hell. The term mentally ill means if you guys don't step up, and none of these other people who know what the fuck is going on step up, then I have to deal with a whole bunch of abuse over shit that I didn't do because of the term mentally ill. Police prey on that. The Bollingers preyed on that. By illegally preventing me from filing reports against those officers and those magistrates. By illegally throwing those things in the trash, these police have shown that the truth doesn't matter to a goddamn person on this planet. If you guys care about the truth, if you actually care about the truth, you need to be proactive. When people were freezing to death in Boulder, Colorado, those people still would have frozen to death. So I passed out blankets. That's being proactive. When Jamie said, I need a hero, James is beating on me. I have to move. I need your help. I need a hero. I went all the way to South Dakota to rescue her, to be that hero. That's being proactive. I helped her move out of there. I helped her get away from that abusive situation. But she went back to him just like most of you idiots do. He only hits you because he loves you. You learn that on the playground, and it follows you for the rest of your life. With Natalie Bollinger saying that she was going to kill herself if I wasn't there already, and then trying to kill herself. You goddamn right, I made sure I made it there after that. That's being proactive. When I found out my older brother was getting married, I walked from Bozeman, Montana to Boulder, Colorado. That is being proactive. You can save your prayers and shove them up your ass. I don't need your fucking prayers. I don't need your fucking sorries. Now, thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your I'm sorries. But if you're not being proactive, you're wasting my time. You're wasting your time. You are making things worse the longer that you drag it out. Whereas I haven't been dragging it out. I've been kicking and fucking screaming since day one. Because I have to, because of the term mentally ill. All of these people preyed on that term mentally ill. All of these people who did me wrong preyed on that and did everything in their power, including getting their friends and family involved in the threats, harassment, and assaults. Everything in their fucking power. God, you guys retract a lot of messages. That's cowardice right there. When I say something or type something, I leave it up. Although, whatever you guys said that you retracted, obviously it's probably something that should have been retracted. I can't think of any other reason why you would. Hmm. You down shit people say to you, so I took it back. Oh, you typed one of the things that I was pissed off about. That worked. I can understand that. The point about that, though, isn't that you're a bad person for typing it or for saying it. It's the fact that it doesn't do any good without being proactive. Uh, Sorry it froze up again. A lot of these people that promised to help me, they just wanted to hear me. All right, well, that's not going to do me any good. I need someone who's going to be proactive. Who are the ones whose help I accepted? The ones who were actually pretending like they were going to be proactive. What these people did is wrong, but I'm sorry doesn't fix it. That's completely different from having to live in a house with your assailant and he rapes you over and over and over again. And people just say they're sorry. They don't do anything about it. It's illegal for your dad to rape you. You tell your friends hoping that they'll do something about it, but they don't. They tell you they're sorry. You're afraid to go to the police. Most people who are poor are afraid to go to the police. Women are more likely to go to the police than men because the police are more likely to listen to somebody with a vagina. They're more human. That's a bias that's taught. That's not what the law says. According to the law, it's illegal for a police officer to let a woman go because she was shaking her titties. Does that make me sexist because I said titties? Should I have said breasts or memories? The thing is, people keep telling me that I should have just let it go, that I should have just left Natalie alone. I did. I drove 1,700 miles to get away from those heroin junkies. And I had the intention of never calling them back again. Never talking to them again. Letting them have their fucking life. Letting them have the entire state of Virginia all to themselves. I even told Brett Roloff when he was living in North Carolina, yeah, I'm not going to go visit you. You are too close to Natalie and her family. Meanwhile, there's all sorts of stuff that reminds me of all these people I love who stabbed me in the back because booze was more important, because sex was more important, because heroin or meth were more important. Hell, some of them were given housing for stabbing me in the back, like Christine Bouhit. Got a conversation with her on here, several of them, as well as conversations with her ex. Her and her ex had unprotected sex a lot, and she decided that she was going to, because he wasn't buying her heroin, he didn't have the money, she was pissed off, she went and tried saying that he raped her. But then she got back together with him. Why, personally, I don't get that. If I'm a dude and a woman's pulling that shit on me, no, I'm not going to fucking date you again. He wasn't very bright, but then again, back then, he was still strung out. He's been clean for a couple of years now. He's taking care of their son. A son that Christine has only seen twice in his lifetime. Once when he was born, and once when she was trying to get Red. That's Ed Simmons. That's the dad's real name. She wanted to claim that he wasn't allowing her to see her son. No, that is not true. He sent her money to come see her son, and she spent it on fucking heroin and meth. I don't need pretty words. I need help. I'm sorry, or I'll pray for you. That's fine and dandy, but it's not proactive. If I'd have prayed myself from Bozeman, Montana to Boulder, Colorado 10 years ago, I never would have made it. I made it to Virginia on faith, but I didn't make it there on prayer. I had faith that if something was fucked up, that I had the ability to remedy it. I mean, that was a good car. If something happened with the car, I could fix just about everything on it. It's cheap. It's inexpensive. There's stuff that I couldn't fix on it. That's true. If the engine blows, I couldn't fix it. That's true. Fact is that Natalie went out of her way to frame me for her murder. And it wasn't murder unless she murdered herself, because assisted suicide, I am 100% for. Any of y'all who have followed this from the beginning, you know that. I am 100% for assisted suicide. A lot of people wanted to give me their pretty words and pretend like that's going to help. And it was mostly pretty white girls who were spouting this shit at me. No, it's not that way for a dude. I'm not a blonde-haired, blue-eyed girly. All right? Now, I know a lot of y'all don't like that girly thing. Joanna Taylor Smith, she's, what, 23 now? 22? But she's a pretty blonde white girl with a decent family. When those 6 people got busted down there in that minefield of fucking meth dealers, the cops went in, stepped over all of those fucking meth dealers to get the 7 people who were only messing with pot, and Joanna Taylor Smith was one of them. While the others had to sit in jail, Joanna Taylor Smith's family bailed her out. She didn't have to go through that. Her boyfriend's also a jackass. His name is Derek Parrish. The thing is that I don't need pretty words of things that you're going to do in 6 months or a year down the road. See, that's the thing with all these people who promised they were going to help me, and then a year down the road, they still haven't kept their fucking word. The statute of limitations is over. There's not a goddamn thing I can do. But I had to trust somebody because I can't do it all myself without any goddamn resources. I had to trust somebody. I don't trust anyone for a reason. Because every time that I trust somebody, they pull shit like this. Like Lanny Ingline. When she lived here in Chapel, I trusted that if I helped her pick up the dog shit, that she was going to give me my fucking pot that I paid for. No, she smoked it in front of me. Oh, when you're done the rest of the chores, holy fuck, I just bought the weed. That's my weed. I only came over here to get my weed, Lana. And yes, when I first met Lana, she was my little brother's fucking pot dealer. That's how I knew her. But she did that a lot. She got free labor out of me when I had a good back because she would hold my stash. She didn't have to hold my stash. She could ask me for help. Now, instead of holding my stash hostage until I have slave labored everything that you want, maybe you should be thankful that I'm helping you at all because you're not paying me for it. Not even when she promised to pay me for it. With those literally thousands of books that I helped move from that place on 6th Street all the way down to Laura and David Nelson's out in the country. I was supposed to get paid $200 for that. $200. It was a lot of books, and it's worth $200. But it wasn't just moving books; they were moving out of there. But they can get away with it. Did I know it was wrong when these people were doing these things? Yes, I knew that it was wrong for Amanda Payne to steal all my shit the way that she did. I knew what these people did was wrong, but at the same time, this is Chapel, Nebraska. I ain't got a lot of friends here. I'm different. I'm weird. I'm not normal. So I'm not human. The few people that did accept me, they accepted me because, number one, I'm a good goddamn worker. Number two, they wanted free shit. They knew they could get away with it. Of course, I didn't have any other friends, so I dealt with it. I already knew from growing up that when somebody steals from me, if I go to the police, they're not going to do a goddamn thing. Let's see. Apparently, I got some dude calling himself Dat Dude Collins, and he typed, "Woe is me, woe is me, woe is me, the cops are against me, the world, blah, blah." Fuck that dude. The fact is, when you've gone through the shit that I have, you have a right to be pissed off. You have a right to be pissed off. What do you do when you can't go to the police? I can't go to the police here because they won't do a goddamn thing. I can't go to the police in Colorado because they will trump up charges and assault the fuck out of me again. Every time that I went in to talk to the police, I needed someone there with me. Every fucking time. Not once did anyone in the state of Colorado go in with me. Not even once. And then they lie about it and pretend that they did. No, you fucking didn't. Raja, none of you went in with me to talk to the police. Not one of you. You didn't even go in the same fucking vehicle. We were never even in the same room together. You're pissed off because when you fucking lied out your ass and fucked me by doing so, that I spoke out. Maybe you should have kept your word, you fucking cunt. You goddamn piece of shit. Let me show you something. This is a can. You see that? I just chucked it against the wall. You know what? Chucking that against the wall is better than shooting the motherfuckers who did this shit to me. These people can assault me whenever the fuck they want. And there's not a goddamn thing I can do about it, because you're just words. You're just words on a fucking computer. None of these people were proactive. They made empty promises and said, Sean, you need to move somewhere else. You should come here. If you come here, I'll help you. I will help you with your paperwork. I will help you to figure that shit out. And I go there, and they're fucking alcoholics or meth dealers. It'd be a lot nicer to be able to go to the cops and say, hey, Derek Apodaca just fucking assaulted me. Do something. In between when Natalie disappeared and when I was assaulted by Waylon Lolatai and charged with assault, which is what took away all of my disability money. All of my disability money between that assault and when I actually broke the goddamn law in August in desperation after 7 goddamn months. 7 goddamn months of abuse over slander. 7 goddamn months of assaults. 7 goddamn months of harassment after I had to deal with a whole fucking year of it before Natalie was killed. You're sorry, you're sorry, you're fucking sorry. I don't give a holy goddamn how sorry you are. Get off your ass. When Desiree was stuck in that trap house in Cheyenne, did I tell her I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm fucking sorry? No, I went and fucking picked her ass up. I took her somewhere where she was safe from those people. I didn't say, I'll pray for you. No, I got off my ass because I'm not a Christian. Oh, here's this dude again typing shit like this. Fuck you, that dude Collins. You're a fucking cunt rag and a fucking piece of shit. See, now this is why people need to be allowed an honest day in court. All of these people are harming me because I was never allowed to defend myself. Because I never had anyone in my goddamn corner. Meanwhile, who was it that was on the fucking drugs? Natalie and Alicia and their mom and their dad. Meanwhile, they call me a druggie and it's fine. I don't do drugs. I don't fucking do drugs. And I'm sorry you got to go through all this backlash. Oh, I'm not sorry. I'm not. Somebody has to fight for our rights. You only care when it's your rights being violated. When it's somebody else's, it's not your business. But then again, lots of people made this their business, didn't they? Lots of people threatened, harassed, and assaulted me over this, didn't they? And not a goddamn person did a goddamn thing. Not Dan Faber, not Shannon Alvarado, not Mandy Hughes, not Alyssa Rainwater, not Aaron Cockerham, not Cara Mia. If I'm wrong, you need to fucking prove it. You said that you tried going to the cops, but you showed no proof. Meanwhile, I have shown thousands of pieces of evidence. And then I got asshats who want to get on here and fucking harass me like that MX fucking moron. Hey, dude, you should do this and you should do that. You're a fucking stalker. You're a fucking stalker. You're a fucking stalker. Fuck you. You're a fucking stalker, you piece of shit. The Bollingers are fucking stalkers, you pieces of shit. When this shit happens to a human being, they have the right to face their accuser for a reason. They have a right to show up in court for a reason. They have a right to show evidence for a reason. And all of those rights were denied me before and after Natalie's death over the term mentally ill. Go choke on a fucking dick. You don't like how I am now. After years of abuse and fucking lies and bullshit and empty fucking promises and more fucking abuse. Peaches, I want your bitch ass in court. You are a fucking world-class piece of shit and so's Raja. But both of you world-class pieces of shit need to go to fucking court. You need to tell the fucking truth. You fucking trash monster. Now, Miss Peaches, I know a lot of y'all are like, oh, well, she's Native American, so she's more human than you. She's got boobs, so she's more human than you. She's got kids, so she's more human than you. Does any of that have to do anything with the goddamn case? See, you're not determining right or wrong based on evidence. You're determining the good guy and the bad guy based on slander and public fucking opinion. I tried to show as much evidence as I could on Facebook in between my fucking Facebook bans. Showing that evidence was getting me put on Facebook bans. Meanwhile, these Sean Schwartz hate groups are closed up. They're slandering my name and inciting hatred and violence against me. But it's fine because I'm mentally ill. Bye, Starlight. Hello. Welcome to my channel. I'm sorry you got in this far into the video. It's about 40 minutes long. The fact is, I don't need pretty words. The messages between myself and Mandy Hughes, a bunch of empty promises. Is it my fault that you don't keep your word? Mandy Hughes, is it my fault that you didn't keep your word? Peaches, is it my fault that you didn't keep your word? Tabby, is it my fault you didn't keep your word? Graham, is it my fault you didn't keep your word? You fucking pieces of shit. When I had no more resources, you threw me away like trash. You not keeping your word, reason for you not to keep your word. But then again, when you fuck me by doing something immoral or illegal, you blame it on me, as if I chose for you to lie, as if I chose for you to cheat and steal, as if I chose for you to break the law repeatedly, as if I chose for you to put that meth in your body, or that heroin, or that alcohol. I needed a fucking caseworker and a goddamn advocate. I needed to be able to replace the income that was stolen by Ken and Leah Plunkett. It is obviously illegal for these people to do all of the things that they've done to me. It's illegal as fuck. What Ken and Leah did, stealing over $2,000. And no, it wasn't all in money. There was also my things that were stolen. Because altogether in money, it was only about $1,800. But that's still enough to be a fucking felony. And Dawn Bird assaulting me is also a felony. And because she was attacking me with her boobs, it's sexual assault. But you don't care, because all you got to do is call me mentally ill and it all magically goes away. I don't need sorries. I need people to be proactive. Your prayers don't do shit. Your pretty meme that you want to send out to people is the God all, beat all, fix all, every goddamn thing. They're just words. See, there's a big difference between those words and these other words that I have to deal with. I'm sorry doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything to fix the situation. These pretty memes don't do anything to rip the situation. Of course, the word stalker, that, that gets people to harass me, threaten me, assault me, push me around. It also gets people starting more rumors. Oh, well, if he's stalking her, he obviously was only after some pussy. So he just wanted to rape that girl. So we're going to spread that rumor. Oh, she's tiny. She's a little girl. He must be a child molester. And you get to see that on Natalie's last public post. How after all of her slander, not once did she ever say anything about sexual assault, sexual abuse, or sex at all. That was not a part of our relationship. And she admits that in the comment section. We never dated. She admits that in the comment section. Lots of people type all of this different stuff. And that's the great thing about what Natalie typed. First of all, the stuff that she typed on the top part, I can prove our lies with her words and her sister's words, and our messages and correspondence during that time. Does it make any difference? No, because nobody will fucking look at it. I've tried everything that I can to get them to look at it. I've tried across the internet. I've tried going in person. I've tried to get other people to go in with me. The first person to actually go in with me was Molly Smith, and she didn't know shit about the situation. Does it matter? No, Cody Selhorst didn't investigate it. Jared Hahn did not investigate it. Jordan Anderson was already gone. If I assault you, I go to prison. If Officer Hahn assaults you and you have family, you can take Officer Hahn to court. If you don't have family that's going to help you, you have no resources like I have for the last 2 goddamn years. Yeah, they'll try to send you to a nuthatch and have you called crazy so that it justifies the fact that they did illegal things, and all they have to say is, oh no, he's lying, he's mentally ill. I needed someone in person to go in with me before Natalie fucking died. But look at where I went for help. I go to Peaches. She's busy playing video games, busy smoking fucking pot, busy going out and getting pot and making deliveries. I understand, she's a mom. She has to do those things. She said all 4 times that I went over there, she said that she would listen to me as soon as the kids went to bed. The first time I was over there for that, well, that was the situation with A-Bear. She wanted to blame it all on A-Bear. I'm like, no, it wasn't all A-Bear. You and I were having a conversation. You were listening. A-Bear got up and started being an asshole. And you immediately started acting like A-Bear. That entire year of 2017, until December came around, Miss Peaches had treated me that entire year the way that A-Bear treated me. Then again, A-Bear really isn't that upstanding of a feller. He gets what he wants, and he gets what he gets because he does illegal and immoral things. He sells fucking drugs to make money. Are we talking about marijuana? No, we're talking about whatever the fuck he can get his hands on to make a fucking profit. He was almost 30 years old when Peaches was 15. And guess what? Josh A-Bear had sex with Miss Peaches when she was 15. Yes, Joshua A-Bear is technically a rapist. That is statutory rape. Of course, it don't pay no mind to him. He don't care. He doesn't care about the legality of it. It's perfectly legal if Peaches doesn't say anything. But then again, Peaches told me, so she did say something, didn't she? Don't tell me you're praying for me. Don't. If you want to pray, go ahead. Just don't tell me about it. Because if you're telling me that you're praying for me, that's not between you and God. That's for attention. Especially on a public post. Don't pray for me. If you do pray for me, don't tell me about it. Don't tell me you're gonna. It's not going to help me. I can't tell if you prayed or not. It don't make any difference to me. If you say you're going to sit down and go through this paperwork with me, Justine Martindale, then do that. Don't waste my time for an entire fucking day. And then play victim when I fucking flip the fuck out because I've literally waited the whole day for you to keep your word. I've gone through a lot of hell before that. It's not like I just showed up at their house one day fucking flipping out. No, it took a lot of abuse to get that way. Being in the jails after being accused of assaulting a police officer. Even though they dropped the charges, it's still on my arrest record, and police do not treat you well. It's like a Jew having to go to the Nazis because they were harassed by Nazis. Hey, the Nazis came in my house and killed my mom and dad. I want you to do something about it. What are the Nazis going to fucking do? They're going to shoot you in the head too. Law enforcement across the United States, they deserve to be hung from every single telephone pole in America. Has that ever happened in America before? Yes, but they didn't do it to police officers. Let me tell you about the 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment was introduced before the end of the Civil War. The 13th Amendment made it legal to own slaves. If someone is convicted of a crime, well, then you can use them as slave labor. The state can. So that's a lot of incentive. A lot of incentive to go make a bunch of laws that, well, like the anti-homeless laws. They made it illegal to be homeless in the South. That way they could round up all the black people They could put them in chain gangs and get free labor out of them. I mean, shit, didn't nobody care about these black folks? They're homeless now. They're breaking the law because they're homeless. Problem with that is that, well, you guys wanted it just to affect the black people, but no, it affected everyone in America. Anyone who is poor at that point could be victimized because the state wanted free labor. Even white people. That's the problem with watching somebody else's rights go right past. Those are your rights too. At first, they were just doing it to black people, and now they're doing it to you. And you're pissed off because it's happening to you now, but you didn't give a holy goddamn when it happened to the black people. Then again, them black people don't give a fuck about if it happens to a homeless people, do they? Does Black Lives Matters give a fuck about all of the homeless people that are black that have been killed just in the last week? No, not a single one. They don't even get a mention on the fucking news. Because homeless people don't matter. Black people matter. Women matter. Minorities matter. Whites don't matter. Males don't matter. Broke people don't matter. Our lives don't matter. If a black person is homeless, Black Lives Matters doesn't give a fuck about them. Black people are taught the same hateful bullshit towards homeless that you're taught. The stuff that you were taught about black people, you can't take out on black people anymore. You take it out on the homeless. The black people take it out on the homeless too. Immigrants take it out on the homeless. But you know what? Immigrants are a lot nicer human beings than Americans. For the most part. You see, all these people who told me all these things that they would help me with, and then gave me all these excuses why they couldn't. Hello, Ashley. Well, they should have had those excuses in court. See, that's why I called them excuses instead of reasons. If these were reasons, they would have spoken up in court about these reasons. Like Alyssa Rainwater and Mandy Hughes about all the illnesses. The evidence that I have from these people proves that these officers lied to me. That they lied to the court. That they falsified evidence. That they stole evidence and slandered my name. But these people need to come forward. Instead of telling me, you know, Sean, you need to do it. They won't let me because of the term mentally ill. The term mentally ill. They turn off their body cameras. They do whatever the fuck they want. The only protection that you have from that is someone going in with you in person. Now, the parts where people actually went in with me in person, well, I'll have to get a statement from Molly Smith. Graham, he went in with me in person, and he verified on the part that he wrote down that I was telling the truth about Zoe Tanner and Stephanie Cotton and Catherine Hay. I even recorded on my YouTube or on my Facebook half of a conversation with Catherine Hay after she literally spent half an hour not answering a question. She didn't answer a single one of my questions. She kept sidestepping. I agree, every person matters. Black, white, purple, wealthy, poor, homeless, not homeless, mental illness, no mental illness. Well, I usually say it, I don't care if you're red, white, yellow, it don't matter. It don't matter if you're red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, or violet, you're still a human being. And yes, I've seen blue people. You ever hear of the Blue Man Group? But the thing is that when someone is called mentally ill, they literally have to have someone there in person. Because either, especially when you're trying to turn in police, When you're trying to turn in the things that have happened to you, you have to go in alone, and they can call you mentally ill. They can break the law repeatedly. Their cameras are off, and you're not worth listening to because you're mentally ill. They're worth listening to because they have a badge. Meanwhile, we're not allowed to bring up any of the shit that the cops did. Like if Teresa Matsilia, after being charged with assault for fighting off the man who raped her, she's not allowed to bring up the fact that she was being raped at the time. Or the situation with Christine Kelly. She was raped too, but she didn't beat the hell out of her attacker. She just took it, and they charged her with false reporting because she didn't fight back. You just can't win. Now, this woman is actually an exception to the rule. Do you know why? She was going to CU to get a PhD. She was going to the University of Colorado at Boulder to become a doctor. She had to flee the state because she was raped. Teresa Massilia had to leave state because she was raped. Am I the only one who's speaking out about these? A woman named Caroline Billy just typed, this is the little thing that lets me know when people are typing in other stuff. She typed, I believe you. I have ASD too. That's autistic spectrum disorder, for those of you who are unaware. She typed, but I know what boundaries are. I know what boundaries are too. I respected these people's boundaries, but my boundaries were not respected. And nobody would do a goddamn thing about it. Nobody would do anything about the threats, harassment, or assaults before Natalie was killed. All of this happened because Natalie and her sister lied in Virginia. And I have posted up the proof that they lied. Posted up the proof that while they were pretending later on that I was stalking them, you look at the situation as it was happening. We were friends that whole time. But you could do whatever you want to someone who you can call mentally ill. You got a cousin who's bipolar? Yes, you can rape your cousin and get away with it. You got a son who's autistic? Yes, you can beat the hell out of him and get away with it. Fuck this goddamn country. We the people means we. It doesn't mean, oh, just my group. Oh, no, we need you black people and you immigrants to go to the back of the bus because we're focusing on women's rights. We need you women and you immigrants and you white men to go to the back of the bus because right now we're focusing on black rights. Look at all the terrible things the police are doing to black people. This is what we need to focus on. And we got the immigrants. Hey, we're human too. We need to focus on our rights. We're the ones being deported. We're the ones being stuffed into these fucking casserole dishes with hundreds of other human beings during an epidemic. I'm a huge advocate for NAMI. I'm a forensic psychology major. The stigma of being labeled mentally ill pisses me off to no end. I have borderline personality disorder along with CPTSD. You absolutely are, and so am I. The thing is, right after Natalie died, it created a lot of hatred towards me. A lot more than I'd already had to deal with for a whole year. The shit that they put me through for a whole year before Natalie was killed. Yeah, that made me want to die every day. I begged people to kill me. I begged people to shoot me. I offered Maddie Boa my car if she would kill me. She's not the only one. Maddie Boa didn't give a fuck about me. I had to post one of them memories things. I'm gonna read it to you actually. It's on my Facebook. It's from 4 years ago. This is from when Natalie and Maddie came and rescued me. I was being abused by the police at the time, a lot. I didn't have any friends. There was 2 people who were not schizophrenic who came to talk to me. Those people who were not schizophrenic were Natalie and Maddie Boa. Let's go to Sean. I'll read this for y'all. Sorry, it's taking a bit to load up. May 28th, 2016. Maddie comes to visit me every day. She makes me smile and doesn't spout schizophrenic crazy at me. She doesn't ask me for change and leave. She doesn't treat me like a hobo. It's like she thinks I'm a person. Thank you, Maddie. She stopped treating me like a person because Natalie and Alicia lied to her. I was never allowed to defend myself against any of the slander. I was made a target for the public to harm repeatedly because cops didn't want to do their fucking jobs.